Hello everyone. Today we'll be solving the CSRE examination 2022. Okay, this will be the paper code 02. So let's go directly to the questions. Okay. Now, question number 1. It says, in how many different ways can the letters of the word leading be arranged in such a way that the vowels always come together? Now here the word given is leading, right? Leading. So it is a there is 8 alphabets, right? Now it says that the vowels should be always come together. Okay, the vowels should always come together. Now here, if you look at the vowels, we have 3 vowels, right? E, A, and I. These are vowels, right? And the rest are consonants. And the remaining consonants are L, T, and G, right? These are consonants. Now we have to check how in how many different ways can the word leading can be arranged. Okay, the alphabets can be arranged with just this. Okay, whatever alphabets is contained in the word leading, we have to arrange it, and then we have to make out different words. Okay, but here it does not say that words should have a definite these should be real words. Okay, words corresponding to some object or things, right? It just says that in how many different ways can the alphabets be arranged, right? But here the option, another condition given is that the all the vowels should be vowels should always come together. So all the vowels should be together. Okay, so in such a condition, the 3 vowels E, A, and I will always consider it as a single unit. Okay, now so what we have is L, T, and G, right? And the 3 vowels E, A, and I will consider it as a single unit. Okay, now E, A, and I can be arranged in how many different ways? We have 3 alphabets, right? So it can be arranged in this, right? And this will give, because there is 3, right? 3 alphabets. So it will be 3 into 2 into 1, it will be 6, okay? Now, so this part is complete, okay? So we'll consider it as a single unit. However, what is the total number of alphabets we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I mentioned, this will be considered as a single unit, right? So it will be 5, okay? And this will give rise to 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So this will be equal to 5 for the 20, 20 into 6, 120, right? Now, the required answer will be, okay, is 5 into 3. This will be give rise to 120 into 6, okay, which is nothing but 720. So the correct option is 720. Question number 2. From the given option, what should come in place of the question mark in the following series? Now, here the series is given as BCE, CDF, DEG, EFH, right? And then we have to find the last one. So if you look at the alphabets, the first alphabet in every unit, you will see that it is B, C, D, E. So the next alphabet should be F, right? In the second, the middle alphabet, D, C, D, E, F, it will be G, right? And the third alphabet, E, F, G, H, I. So the correct option is F, G, I, okay? Which is option number C. Question number 3. Which one of the following shortcut keys is to create a new folder in the Windows operating system, okay? Now, here we have to choose 4 different types of options are given, okay? So you have to remember that some of these may be real shortcuts, okay? Sometimes they will just give you random things, okay? Sometimes it may truly be a shortcut also, and sometimes it may not be a shortcut also, okay? For example, Control D does not have actual any specific shortcut keys, right? So we have to find the correct option, which will create a new folder, okay? Now, if you click Control plus N, this will give you a new window, okay? or a new file. Suppose you have opened the MS Word, okay? MS Word, you open it. Now, if you click Control N, another MS Word document, it will open, right? A new Microsoft Word document. This is how the Control N function. In Microsoft Word or in Windows, Control E generally, especially in Microsoft Word, Control E will give rise to center, right? All the sentences and the words will be aligned on the center, right? But if you click on Control Shift and N, it will create a new folder, okay? So the correct option is C. So don't get confused between Control N and Control Shift N, okay? Question number 4. A small triangle is having 3 sides. Another big triangle is having sides exactly double the sides of the smaller rectangle, smaller triangle. Then what is the ratio of area of smaller triangle to the area of the smaller, bigger triangle? Okay, now we have one small triangle, okay? And then we have another bigger triangle. Now, suppose say the sides, okay? We don't know the sides, right? We don't know what the sides are, okay? And we don't know what the areas are, right? But what they're asking us to find the area of triangle, say suppose this is ABC, to the ratio of the area of bigger triangle, right? Say DEF, okay? Triangle DEF. We have to find this ratio, okay? Now, here's one thing that you have to remember, okay? When it comes to triangle, okay? Area is directly proportional to the side square, okay? Now, this means that uh, uh, the area of a triangle will increase proportionally to its square, okay? Now say suppose this area is A1, okay? A1. Now this area, the bigger triangle, we consider it as A2. Okay, this is what we have to find out, right? Now, area A1 is directly proportional to side square, right? Now, say side is AB, okay? And we are taking this side, okay? So the corresponding side is DE square, right? So this is how it is. Now, but it says that the sides of the bigger triangle is double the side of the smaller triangle, which means that AB square will be AB square, but DE is twice of AB whole square, right? And this will give rise to AB square divided by 4AB square, okay? Which means it will be 1 by 4. So the answer is 1 by 4. So in such questions like this, you just remember that area of triangle is directly proportional to the side square, okay? So this is the only way we can find the solution. Why? Because we do not have the area, or we do not have the dimension of any one side of the triangle, okay? It is just saying that there are two triangles and the sides of the bigger triangle is twice the sides of the smaller triangle, okay? Now let's come to question number 5. Touch is a device that uses magnetic field to read input characters. Now, here the correct option is MICR, okay? Now, suppose you might have come across check, right? So most of us have come across the check, right? In the check below, we have certain numbers, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. So this number is actually read by a machine, right? It is a machine that is with the banker or the teller. We call it teller also. So they have the machine and they read these numbers, right? And it automatically identifies the check, okay? And this number okay, is based on the concept of MICR, okay? So MICR is nothing but magnetic ink character recognition, okay? So this device will identify this magnetic ink, okay? Magnetic ink character, and they use what is known as the magnetic field, okay? So the correct option is option number B, okay? MICR, magnetic ink character recognition. So the easiest way to remember this is the a check, okay? And on the bottom of the check, you will find a number of small numbers written in certain font, okay? So actually, this is written in a magnetic in such a way that it can be read by the magnetic field, okay? So apart from this, the other options are OTP, which is the one-time password, right? Which we get in our phone while logging on to something, but like especially to some accounts, we get one-time password to our linked mobile number, right? That's OTP, right? And SFTP is nothing but SSF file transfer protocol, okay? So this is something that is related to internet. Now let's come to question number 6. By touch key, you can capture screen of a current desktop. Okay, so it's simple. Directly says print screen, right? So sometimes in some computers, it will directly function with print screen. Okay, there's a one button on the keyboard called the print screen button. So you can directly press that and you can capture you can screenshot the screen on your computer. Okay, or sometimes you have to press the Windows key. Okay, the Windows key along with the print screen. Okay, so in some computer, you can do it directly through the print screen key, or in some computer you have to press the window key along with the print screen key, okay? Now, question number 7. So here it says two tellers, X and Y, are paid a total of rupees 550 per week by the employer. If X is paid 120% of the sum paid to Y, how much is the Y paid per week? Now, it says that X and Y, they're paid a total of 550 rupees, right? And X is paid 120% of Y, right? Which means it is 120 by 100 Y. It is 1.2 Y, right? Which means X is paid more than the Y. Now we just have to determine how much, what is the total amount of money that is being paid to Y, okay? In terms of rupees, right? Now let's just consider the amount that is paid to Y as Y, okay? Which means X how much they were? 1.2 Y, right? Now total gimana sih? X plus Y, right? X plus Y is 550, which means Y plus 1.2 Y is equal to 550. 2.2 Y is 550. So Y is 250, right? So the amount that is paid to Y is 250, okay? Question number 8. CAT stands for, so it's a direct question. It stands for computer aided design, okay? So if you are a civil engineer, or if you are an architect, or if you're designing any houses, the most common and most useful software that you can use to design the house is the CAD, okay? Computer aided design. Now let's come to question number 9. How many such consonants are there in the following arrangement, each of which immediately preceded by a numerical? It says that, so here we have given a certain arrangement of alphabets, numbers, and different types of special characters, okay? And then we have to search how many consonants are there, right? So A, E, I, O, U, okay? These are the vowels, right? And all other alphabets are consonants, okay? So we have to find that many consonants. in this arrangement that is given here, each of which is immediately preceded by a numerical, which means just before that, suppose there is a consonant, okay? Just before this consonant, there should be a preceded, okay? So which means before that there should be a numerical, okay? So there should be a number here. So there should be a number and there should be a consonant, okay? We have to search how many number of consonants are there, right? Since the word preceded is used. Now, if you look at it, now A is out, right? Because it is a vowel. E is out. So these are the different types of for vowels, okay? Now, let's see. Here we have one consonant, but there's no anything preceding it, right? There's nothing before it. So we'll just cancel it. Next, we have this. Again, this cannot be applied, right? Because there's no consonant, there's no number before it. So all these can be cancelled out. This can be cancelled out. Special character laku mention na. Here we have a Q, right? And this Q is preceded by a number. So here we have 1. Okay. Now we have here R, which is preceded by another consonant. Special character will leave out. 2, 3 also will leave out. 2 will leave out. Now here we have D, right? Which is a consonant. And it is followed by a number 3. So here we have another one here. This also will leave out because it is preceded by a consonant. Special character is out. This also out, right? Now here we have P, a consonant, and it's followed by and is preceded by a number, right? Then these also will cancel out. We'll also cancel out this. Here one consonant, but it is preceded by a special character. So this also remove it. So we have no more. Okay, so the only possibility of a consonant being preceded by a numerical is 3, right? So the correct option is C. So preceded kulido. So the consonant is preceded by the, so consonant is there, right? We have to search the consonant and it is preceded. So it will come before, okay? Consonant is preceded by the number, right? But if it says succeeded, so the number should come after the consonant, okay? Preceded kulido, number is before the consonant. Succeeded kulido, number is after the consonant. Let's come to question number 10. Which of the following is or are video conferencing software? So this is a direct question. We all know through Skype, through Zoom, and through GoToMeeting, we can take video conferencing, right? All the options are correct. Now let's come to question number 11. It says here, in Excel, tiny charts placed in a single cell are called. So this is a direct question. Again, these are known as spark lines. Okay, now we all know that Excel exists in a form of spreadsheet, right? Now, so it will look something like this. Now, if you, it so happened that even within the same cell, we can place different chart, okay, or graph. Okay, say suppose there's a line graph. We can place, there's a number of data here, and we can represent those data in a graph, okay? And this graph, which are located within a single cell, okay? These are located in a single cell, you have to remember that. And these are known as the spark lines, okay? Question number 12. Anil buys a calculator for 600 and sells it to Vikash at 10% profit. Vikash sells it to Chandan for 5% profit. Chandan, after using it for a certain time, sells it to Dinesh at a loss of 20%. For how much Chandan sell the calculator to Dinesh? Now we have a calculator which is bought and sold among a group of people, okay? Now say Anil buys the calculator for 600 rupees, right? So when he got the calculator, he bought it for 600 rupees and he is going to sell it to Vikas, right? Vikash. and he's selling it at a 10% profit, right? Which means it will be 600 plus 10%, right? 10% of 600 is equal to 600 plus 10 by 100 of 600. So if you solve this, you will get it as 660 rupees, okay? Now, Vikash bought it for 660 rupees, right? From Anil. Now he is going to sell it to, now, Vikash, he bought it for 660. He is going to sell it to Chandan for 5% profit, right? Which means it should be 660 plus 5% of 660. So it will be 660 plus 33 rupees, right? So it should be 693, okay? Finally, Chandan, he got it for 693, right? Now he's going to sell it at a loss of 20%, which means it should be 693 minus 20% of 693. So it should be 693 minus 20 by 100 into 693. And if you calculate it, you will roughly get 554.4, okay? So the correct option is C. Question number 13. Which of these key combinations in Windows operating system is used as a shortcut for print? Now we all know that in order to print something in computer, we simply use Control P, right? It is a very direct question and quite an easy one also. So if we press Control plus P, we are going to print that document, okay? Question number 14. Now we have a series here, right? And we have to find what is missing here, right? Now you see, we have here first, if you look at the first character, it is P, right? Now let's look at the second one. It is 5, 4, 3. So it should be 1, and then we have here 2, and then we have here 1, right? The third character, we have Q, 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 Q. So it should also be Q here. And the fourth character, R, S, T, U, V, right? So the answer should be B2QU, right? Question number 15. In the question given below, two signs in equation have been interchanged. Find out these two signs to make the equation correct, okay? Now we have to use the BODMAS. When we have different plus, minus, divide into bracket, right? And even sometimes powers, okay? We follow a rules, so we can't mix up all together, right? We can't mix up all together and solve in one go. So we have to follow step-by-step process, okay? So we follow what is known as the BODMAS rule, okay? So we'll follow it in this manner, okay? First, we'll solve the brackets, okay? Brackets. Sometimes it is also known as the parentheses, right? Brackets are also known as parentheses. So first, we have to solve the brackets or the parentheses. Second, we have to solve the orders, okay? So orders are nothing but powers only, right? 5 to the power 3, 5 to the power 2, 5 to the power 10, anything like that. That's the second thing. Or even root over also, okay? Root overs. So when we say orders, it means powers and roots, okay? Third, we have to do the division, okay? Then after that, multiplication. Then after that, addition. And finally, we have to do the subtraction, okay? So this is how we have to do. Now here the question given is 3 divided by 5 into 8 plus 2 minus 10 is equal to 13, okay? Now, if you try to solve this question, you will see that it is not correct, right? Now they're asking us to change two signs, okay? To replace two signs, interchange. The first one is, now here we have plus and minus, okay? So the plus should be changed into minus and minus should be changed into plus, okay? Let's try it. So it will be 3 divided by 5 into 8, plus will become minus, right? Minus will become plus, 10 is equal to 13, okay? Let's see. So first we have to do as per the BODMAS rule, bracket is not there, right? Order is not there. So the third one is division. So it will be 3 by 5 into 8 minus 2 plus 10. Let's leave this part for a while. Now we have here, next is multiplication, right? It should be 24 by 5 minus 2 plus 10, right? So 24 divided by 2. 4.8 minus 2 plus 10. So we don't get any 13, right? We don't get 13. It's not equal to 13. So A is not correct. Now let's come to second one. 3 divided by 5 into 8 plus 2 minus 10. Okay, now we will interchange multiplication and division. Okay, so it will be 3 into 5 divided by 8, right? Division becomes multiplication. Multiplication becomes division plus 2 minus 10. Okay, now Bottom's rule. First division, 5 by 8 plus 2 minus 10 will be 15 by 8 plus 2 minus 10. So here we'll get a number in the form of points, right? So which means, but our answer should be 13, right? As per the question, it should be 13. So this is also wrong. Question number C. So C, we will have to replace interchange division with subtraction, okay? So it will be 3 minus 5 into 8 plus 2 divided by 10, okay? So it will be equal to 3 minus 5 into 8 plus 2 by 10. Again, here we are going to get something in the form of fraction, right? In the form of point, right? But the answer is in the whole number, right? It's a 13. So this is also wrong. And let's see the fourth one, 3. So division becomes plus 5 into 8. And plus will become division, right? Divided by 2 minus 10, right? Now, Bottom's rule, 3 plus 5 into 8 divided by 2 is 4 minus 10, right? So it will be 3 plus 20 minus 10. It will be 3 plus 10 is equal to 13. So the correct, we get here 13 as a solution, right? So the correct option is D, okay? So in such question like this, you just have to do the trial and error method, okay? You just have to try every option that is given in the question and then solve it. Now, let's come to question number 16, okay? It says here, how long will a boy take to run round a square field of side 15 meters if he runs at a rate of 9 kilometers per hour, okay? Now, question number 16. There is a square field, okay? And the side of the square field is 35 meters. So he has to run around, okay, around the square field, which means he has to complete this entire length. So distance is equal to 35 plus 35 plus 35 plus 35, right? Which is equal to 140 meter. Now speed is equal to 9 kilometer per hour. Now let's convert this into a meter per second, okay? Since this is also in the meter and answer is given in seconds, right? So 9 into 1 kilometer is 1000 meter, right? Divided by 1 hour is 60 into 60 second, right? Now we know that speed is nothing but distance by time, right? So in order to find the time, it should be distance by speed, right? So distance is 140 divided by 9 into 1000 divided by 60 into 60. So it will be 140 into 60 into 60 divided by 9 into 1000. So 3 zeros will be out. 1, 2, 3. 3 to the 6. 3 to the 6 will be 9. 14, 2. It will be 14 into 2 to the 4 is equal to 56 seconds. Okay, so the correct answer is 56 seconds. Question number 17. Arrange the given English word in the alphabetical order. Now, here we have to go the alphabet within each word. We'll see the alphabets, okay, and we'll go from left to right. Okay. Now, if you look at the first alphabet in every word, it is J. Okay. J, 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 and J. So it all starts with J. So we don't have to worry that. Second is A, 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 A. So this is also, it's okay. Third one is C, right? So third alphabet is C. Now fourth one is, if we have A here, right? Here also we have A. But here we have I, and then fourth one is K. Now we know that I, J, K, right? Only after I, K comes, which means, and here though, we have A, right? The word in the first word, the third word, and the fifth word, the fourth alphabet is A, right? Which means they will be ahead of these three, right? We are ahead of these two. One is I, right? One is I, and one is K. So which means the arrangement should be 2 should be in the last second, and the last one should be 4, right? Because the fourth alphabet is K, right? Now let's see the remaining arrangement, okay? Now we have here, the first 4 alphabets are same, J, A, C, A, J, A, C, A, right? Let's look at the fifth one, okay? Here, it is N, L, and M. So we know that alphabet arrangement is L, right? M, N, O, P, right? So first one should be the 3 because the fifth alphabet is L, right? L. Next one should be 5 because the fifth alphabet is M, right? And finally it should be 1. So the arrangement should be 3, 5, 1, 2, 4. Okay, so it's B. Question number 18. How many 7s are present in the following sequence of numbers, which are both preceded and followed by a perfect square number? Okay, so here we have a certain series of number, okay, and we have to choose how many 7s are there, which are preceded. Okay, preceded means before this number, as well as followed. Okay, the one which comes after this preceded, and this is followed, right, by perfect square numbers. Okay, so perfect square numbers are like 4, right? 1, 4, because 4 is 2 into 2, 9. It is 3 into 3, right? Then 16, it is 4 into 4, 25, it is 5 into 5 in okay? Now let's look at it. So 7 yadik right? It is preceded, it is followed by a perfect square, right? 9 is a perfect square, but 3 is not a perfect square, so we'll leave it out, okay? Now let's see this 7, right? It is preceded by 9, which is a perfect square, and it is followed by 4, which is also a perfect square. So this is the one of them, okay? Now here we have another 7. Here's 9 is there before, which is a perfect square, but this here 2 is there, which is not a perfect square, so we'll leave it out. Next, another one, we have 7 here. It is preceded by 1, which is a perfect square, right? 1 into 1. And followed by 4, which is 2 into 2. So again, we will take into account, okay? Now, another 7 is here. So before 7, we have a 4, which is perfect square, followed by 9, which is also a perfect square. So this is the third possibility, okay? Then the other one is, here 1, 7 is there, right? It is preceded by 9, which is a perfect square, and followed by 1, which is another perfect square. So another 1 is here. And this is not a possibility because 2 is not a perfect square, right? So the correct option should be C, right? Because there are 4 types of 4 7s which are preceded and followed by perfect square, okay? Now let's come to question number 19. So here we have a multiplication of 3 numbers, and we just have to see that it matches which of the following options, okay? So here it says here the 3 of numbers are 54.327, right? Into 357.2 into 0.0057. So if you look at it, the first number is, you just look at the number itself, okay? Just ignore the point for some time, okay? Where the point is placed, just ignore it for some time. First number is 54327, second is 3572, right? but the third number is 57 only. So here we have additional numbers. So we'll just cancel it out, okay? Here we have 54327, right? Second is 3572. Here we have 57. So this is a possibility, right? In the third option also, we have 54327, 3572, and 57. So this is also a possibility. Now, let's count how many digits are there after the point, okay? Now here point is here in the first number. And how many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, right? Here we have 3. Now here point is here, and after that we have 1 digit, so plus 1. So here point is there. After that, how many digits are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 4. So total should be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? So there should be 8. Now if you look at B, okay, option number B, here we have 4, right? 4 numbers after, 4 digits after the point. Here we have 3 digits after the point, right? And here we have 2. So this will be 9, right? So it's not correct. It should be 8. In C, we have 4, right? Plus 3 plus 1, which is equal to 8. So the correct option should be C, okay? Question number 20. A man has 480 rupees in the denomination of 1 rupee note, 5 rupee note, and 10 rupee notes. The number of notes of each denomination is equal. What is the total number of notes? Yes. Now, it is saying that a person has 480 rupees, okay? 480 rupees, total amount of money that he has. But this money is existing in 3 types of denomination, okay? 3 types of notes. There is the 1 rupee note, right? 5 rupee note, and we have the 10 rupee note. We have the 1 rupee note, and we have the 5 rupee note, and we have the 10 rupee note, okay? So these are the 3 types of notes that the person has, okay? Now we have to search how many numbers are there, okay? How many 1 rupee notes are there? How many 5 rupee notes are there? And how many 10 rupee notes are there? So we have to search. We don't know, but they are saying that number of notes is same, okay? So 1 rupee note, 5 rupee note, and 10 rupee notes, the number of notes are same. We just have to see total is how many, okay? How many total number of notes are there? Now, it's very simple. Because we know that the number of notes is same, okay? Now let's assume that it's X, okay? The number of notes. So 1 rupee into X number of notes, right? Plus 5 rupees into X number of notes plus 10 rupees into X number of notes, right? If you multiply 1 rupee, right? Into the number of notes and then add it with 5 rupee notes, I say, and then the value of the 10 rupee notes will get how much? Total, right? 480. Now, X plus 5X plus 10X is equal to 480, right? So if we add it, it is 16X is equal to 480. X is equal to 30, right? Now, what is the total number of notes? So we have 30 pieces of 1 rupee note, 30 pieces of 5 rupee note, and 30 pieces of 10 rupee note, right? Because the number of notes are same. It will be 90. So the correct option is C. The direct question, the full form of ASCII is which of the following? So it's the short form for American Standard Code for Information Exchange, okay? Let's come to question number 22. In order to check spelling of a text in Microsoft PowerPoint, we press. So this is a direct question again. It is F7, okay? So if you want to check, if you're using a Microsoft PowerPoint, okay? If you're presenting something, making a PowerPoint or presentation, and you want to check a spelling, so you'll just click on F7, okay? Question number 23, which of these binary representation represents a number, okay? So We just, like I mentioned here, also we'll do that trial and error method. We just have to see which of these number is a binary odd number. Okay, it's an odd number. Now 1010 can be written as, in order to convert it into number form, it will be 1 into 2, 0 into 2, plus 1 into 2, plus 0 into 2. Okay, since we're converting it into binary form, we're using 2, right? So in each of the 2, we'll add the power. Okay, so we'll start with 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So 2 to the power 3 is 8. Here multiplication of 0 is 0. Here 2 to the power 1 is 2. Multiplication with 0 is 0. So it will be 10. So this is an even number, right? 10 is an even number. So this is wrong. So let's try this next one. It is 1110, right? So 1 into 2, binary, okay? 1 into 2 plus 1 into 2 plus 0 into 2. So power should be 0, 1, 2, 3. 8, 4, 2 plus multiplication with 0 is 0. So again, this is 14, which is an even number. Let's come to third option, which is 1011. Okay, so it will be 1 into 2 to the power plus 1, 0 into 2 to the power plus 1 into 2 to the power plus 1 into 2 to the power 0, 1, 2, 3. It will be 8 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1. It will be 11. So this is an odd number. Okay, so the correct option is C. Question number 24. What does the letter B stands for in the full form of BIOS? So BIOS is a short form for Basic Input Output System. Okay, so it's nothing but when we begin a computer, this will come into play. Okay, and this is housed in the kept inside the ROM. Okay, the question number 25. Here, Ankush, Pali, Kolnal subscribe 50,000 for a business. Ankush subscribes 4,000 more than Pali, and Pali for 5,000 more than Kolnal. Out of the profit of 35,000, Ankush received. Now, the 3%, Ankush, Pali, and Kolnal, they are subscribing a total of 50,000, okay? And by investing or subscribing 50,000, they are getting a return of, or a profit of rupees 35,000. Okay, now how much should, and because they have subscribed or invested different sum of money, so accordingly the profit should also be different, right? So we just have to find the ratio out of this. Okay, now it says here that, now let's try to find how much each of these people have invested. Okay, now say suppose Colonel is the one which is invested the least. So let's just say he invested X, right? So Pali is how much? 5,000 more than Colonel, right? So which means X plus 5,000, right? And Ankush though, 4,000 more than Pali, Pali plus 4,000, right? Which means it should be X plus 5,000 plus 4,000. So it will be X plus 9,000, right? Now we all know that total sum that they have invested is 50,000, which means A is how much? X plus 9,000 plus X plus 5,000 plus X should be equal to 50,000. Okay, so 3X plus 14,000 is equal to 50,000. 3X is equal to 36,000. So X is equal to 12,000, right? So C is invested. So we'll have to find out how much out of the profit of 35,000, right? So by investing 50,000, they receive 35,000. So we have to determine for Ankush. Ankush is how much he has invested. X plus 9,000, right? Which means it should be 12,000 plus 9,000, right? So this will give to 21,000. Now, returns of Ankush is equal to how much did he invest? 21,000, right? out of 50,000. So out of 50,000, he has invested 21,000. And how much profit is the one we have to determine? It is 35,000, right? Now, if we do the calculation, you will get that it is 14,700. Okay, so the correct option is A. Question number 26. The resolution of the printer is measured to print the image. So in printer, the resolution or any picture that we see on a computer or a phone, it is measured in a certain unit known as the DPI, okay, which is not short form for dots per inches. So all pictures are created with the help of the dots, right? So this is known as DPI, okay? 0.333 can be expressed in the form of rational number P by QS. Now, if you look at the four option, first one is 2 by 3, okay? So if you divide 2 by 3, you will get something like 0.66666, something like this. So this is not the correct answer. B, it is 1 by 3. So if you divide 1 by 3, it will be 0.3333. So it will keep on going, okay, indefinitely. So the correct option is 0.332 is 1 by 3. Question number 28. Shortcut for opening help in Microsoft PowerPoint is, so it is F1, okay? So Control A is to select everything, right? But if you click F1, it is the shortcut for opening help, okay? Now let's come to question number 29. Now here it is given a chart, okay? Study the following table carefully and answer the question given below it. Number of different categories of vehicles sold in the country over the years in thousands. So here data is given for year by year cars sold, okay? Different categories of cars sold, okay? So in the year 1990, 26 heavy vehicle were sold, 64 light commercial vehicles were sold, 232 cars were sold, 153 jeeps were sold, and 340 two-wheelers were sold. Similarly, it goes for the year 1991. Okay, so it has been given for 5 periods. Okay, starting from 1990 all the way to 1994. Okay, apart from this, it has also given the total cars that have been sold for the 5 years. Okay, so between 1990 to 1994, 331 heavy vehicles have been sold. Similarly, between 1990 and 1994, 408 light commercial vehicles have been sold. Okay, so these are the data given for a period of 5 years of 5 categories of different types of vehicle. So it says here that if the same percentage increase in the number of heavy vehicle as in 1994 over 1993 is expected in 1995, approximately how many heavy vehicles will be sold in 1995? Now it says that if the change in percentage from 1993 to 1994, the same percentage, okay, the change in percentage, okay, the increase in percentage, that same percentage is expected from 1994 to 1995, right? That same percentage is expected from 1994 to 1995. So how many vehicles have been sold? Okay, now let's try to find the percentage increase. Okay, from 1993 to 1994, percentage increase will be, so difference is how much? 107 minus 81, right? So it will be 26. Now percentage will be how much? It should be, difference is how much? 26 divided by, since it is measured with respect to 1993, so we'll take the lower value, 81, right, into 100%, right? So this will be equal to 32%, okay? Now, the same percentage is expected in the year from 1994 to 1995, right? Now say, so from 1994 to 1995, we are also expecting another 32% increase in sales of vehicle, right? Which means 1994, how much we have sold? 107, right? So this 32% is how much? 32 by 100 into 107, which will give to 32 into 107 divided by 100. 34.24, okay? So 1995 day, gimana po? 107 plus 34.24 is equal to 141, okay? 141 point, or 141.24. So the closest number is 141, okay? So this is the correct option. USB is the acronym for which of the following? So we all know it stands for, USB stands for Universal Serial Bus, okay? Question number 31. Each page of a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation is called a slide, okay? So in Microsoft PowerPoint, every single page, okay? Every single page is known as, or every single presentation is known as slide, right? So a PowerPoint presentation will consist of a number of slides, okay? Question number 32. At the moment, the shadow's length of a shaft is √3 times the stature of the shaft. The age of the rise of a sun is. Now it says here, there's a shaft, okay? There's a shaft. And this is casting a shadow. Okay. So this is the shadow, okay? So this together will constitute a triangle, right? So this is the shaft. And this is the shadow that is being cast on the ground, right? Now it says here, at the moment, the shadow's length, okay? The shadow's length is √3 times the stature of the shaft. So stature of the shaft means height only, right? So say suppose it is x. So it will be √3 times, right, of the stature, which means √3x. Now let's consider this as theta. We just have to find this angle only, okay? So tan theta, it will be perpendicular, right? Perpendicular by base, right? Which means it should be x by √3x. So if you cancel, it will be 1 by √3. So theta is equal to tan inverse, right? Tan theta is 1 by √3. So theta is equal to tan inverse 1 by √3, which is nothing but 30 degree, okay? Because the value of tan 30 degree is 1 by √3. So the correct option is 30 degree, which is option number A. Find dy by dx if y is equal to 2 sine into 2 sine of 3 cos x, okay? Now, this is a very, things that we solve during our high school days, right? So here it's given y is equal to 2 sine of 3 cos 4x, right? Now, in order to find dy by dx, it will be d by ddx of, right? Y is what? Y is 2 sine 3 cos 4x, okay? Now, first we will find the differentiation of this one, right? So it will be 2, differentiation of sine is cos, okay? 2 cos, and what is the angle? 3 cos 4x, right? Into, now we'll try to find the differentiation of this part, right? So it will be into d by ddx of 3 cos 4x, okay? So it will be, this will just give it as it is, 2 cos 3 cos 4x, right? So in order to differentiation, it will be into 3, right? Differentiation of cos is minus sine. So angle is how much? 4x, right? Again, we all know that we have to do another differentiation because the angle is also can be differentiated, right? So ddx of 4x, okay? So it will be 2 cos 3 cos 4x into 3 of minus sine 4x into differentiation of 4x is 4, okay? And this will give rise to 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 24. Minus sign, let's bring it in the front, right? And let's write the sign first, okay? Sign 4x, right? And then it will be cos 3 cos 4x. So the correct option is minus 24 sine 4x cos 3 times cos 4x. So the correct option is B. Printed copy is called, as we all know, printed copy is hard copy, right? The one, if there is a document and the document which is visible on the screen, it is a soft copy, okay? But once it is printed on a paper, it becomes a hard copy. Dash is a special temporary location in CPU that is involved in temporary storing and carrying out data and instruction. Now, this is a very theoretical question. So if you know the parts of the computer, this is a register, okay? So register is a special type of memory, okay? So register is a special type of memory that is located within a CPU, okay? And whatever is stored in register, the advantage is that registers are considered to be the fastest memory, okay? Registers are considered to be the fastest memory, and it is, once the data are kept there, it will be used for immediate processing, okay? But the only disadvantage is it is temporary, okay? So when we say register, it is a special type of memory, okay? A small memory only, but the advantage is that it is considered to be one of the fastest memory and processing takes place immediately, okay? Now question number 36. In the MAC address of a computer, MAC is an acronym for which of the following? So it is a direct question. It simply stands for media access control, okay? Dash shortcut key in MS Pen is used to show image properties. So again, this is Control E, okay? So in MS Pen, Microsoft Pen, if you click on Control E, then it will show the image properties, okay? Now, question number 38. A donut chart in Excel is similar to, so what happens in a pie chart? So pie chart is, say, suppose apples, mangoes, and papaya, right? So this is how things are represented in a pie chart, right? Now, what happens in a donut chart? So donut chart is something that we can see in Excel, okay? Microsoft Excel. So it will be in the shape of a donut only, okay? And it will be given like apple, mango. So there's not much difference, okay? Just that it is in the shape of a donut only. So it is very similar to what is known as the pie chart, okay? So there's not much difference between pie chart and a donut chart, okay? Question number 39. On lending a certain sum of money on compound interest, one gets 9,050 in 2 years and 9,500 in 3 years. What is the rate of interest? Now here we have a certain question, okay? It says that if you lend, okay, if you lend a certain sum of money and you will get 9,050 as compound interest in 2 years, right? And 9,500 in 3 years. And we just have to find the rate of interest, okay? So this 9,050 is nothing but the amount, okay? Amount. So consider amount that we get in 2 years. So how much it is? 950 rupees, right? And amount that we get after 3 years is rupees 9,500, okay? Now, the simple interest, if you subtract these two, okay, you'll get the simple interest, okay? Now, simple interest in the 3rd year, okay? So this has been included as part of the compound interest, right? But if you subtract the amount based upon compound interest, you will get the simple interest, okay? So if you subtract this 9,500 minus 9,050, okay, you'll get 450. So this is the compound interest in the 3rd year, okay? So, this is the simple interest in the 3rd year, okay? So you just remember here that this is the amount after the second year, right? And this is the amount after the third year. And these amounts are based upon the compound interest, okay? However, if you subtract these two amounts, you will get what is known as the simple interest, right? Now, simple interest to QJ, we just subtracted the two amounts and we got 450, right? Now, the simple interest formula is what? SI is equal to PRT by 100, okay? So interest is how much? 450, right? So we all know when it comes to simple interest, the interest is the same for each year, right? Principal is, we are not aware of the principal, so let's just keep it as P, right? Because so simple interest, how we found out PRT by 100, right? PRT by 100. Now, interest is, simple interest is 450, right? Divided by 100. Time is how much? Now, we all know that 950 is the amount that we got in 2 years, right? Which means this 950 becomes the principal, okay? This 950 becomes the principal for the third year, right? So in the third year, the number of years also becomes 1, right? And rate though, we don't know, right? So let me just go back once more. We all know that 450 was the simple interest, right? And this simple interest was for the third year, right? So third year, the simple interest document as a 450, right? So in the third year, so in order to calculate the simple interest in the third year, we have to take the, this one becomes the principal, right? The second year amount becomes the principal, right? So this becomes the principal. And we're just taking the time as 1 year. Why? Because they change from second year to third year is only 1 year, right? So rate is equal to 450 into 100 divided by 9050, okay? So if you solve it, it will be 450 divided by 9050. So it is close to, we are getting around 4.97%. It is very close to 5%, okay? So the correct option is B, 5%, right? So this, in this question, kindly don't get confused, okay? Because the difference in amount between the 2 years will be the simple interest, right? Now, when we calculate the simple interest, so this becomes the simple interest, right? Now, this is the simple interest for the third year, right? But amount for after the second year will become the principal for the third year, right? So for a principal of this much, the simple interest gets this much, right? So we just put this value and we just time we are taking it as only 1 because we are considering the change from second year to third year only, okay? Now let's come to question number 40. In the summer, a survey was conducted among 400 people about their favorite beverages. The following pie chart shows the data. What is the total central angle for iced tea and cold drinks? Now, iced tea plus cold drinks in terms of percentage is 6 plus 2, which is 8%, right? Now we just have to find the central angle. So it will be 8% will be 8% of central angle is how much? The total angle at the center is 360, okay? So this will be 8 by 100 into 360. It will be 28.8 degree, okay? So the correct option is 28.8. Question number 41. In a factory, there are 40 technicians and 60 non-technicians. Now here, question number 41. There is a factory, okay? So 40% they are technicians, okay? And these 60% are non-technicians. Again, here, out of this 40%, 60% are permanent employees, okay? Which means 60% of 40% are permanent employees. And out of these 60%, 40% are permanent employees. Now we have to find the percentage of workers who are temporary, okay? So we'll have to find the total percentage of employees who are temporary workers. Now, let's just consider that total number of employees in this industry is or factory is X, okay? So which means technician is 40%, right? So it will be 40 by 100x is equal to 0.4x. Non-technician is how much? 60%. So it will be 0.6x, right? Now, if 60% are permanent, which means 40% is temporary, right? Now, temporary in technician. Temporary technician how much? 40%, right? 40% of how much is, right? 0.4x, which is equal to 0.16x, right? Let me just solve it. That is 40 by 100 of 0.4x. So it will be 0.4 into 0.4x is equal to 0.16x. So these are the number of temporary in the technician field. Temporary in non-technician field gimana sih? We have non-technician is 60%, right? And if 40% are permanent, 60% are non-permanent or temporary, right? Which means it should be 60% of 0.6x is equal to 60 by 100 into 0.6x is equal to 0.6 into 0.6 is equal to 0.24x, right? Now, if we add total, it would be 0.16 plus 0.24, right? So it will be 0.6 or 36. Oh, we did a mistake here. 0.6, it will be 0.36. So 0.36. So if we total it up, it will be 0.52x. So in terms of percentage, it will be 0.52 into 100%. So it will be 52%. Okay, so the correct option is A. Find the number that will replace question mark. Okay, now here we have a number. It says root over 19.36 plus root over 9 plus question mark square is equal to 9.4. So we just have to find what this number is, right? Now, root over 19.36 plus root over 9 plus question mark whole square is equal to 9.4. Now, let's find the root over of this, okay? Now we all know in order to find that root over, we use that method 19.36, right? Now we all know from the starting point, we'll start grouping from the point, we'll start grouping two numbers together, right? So here on left side, 19 should be grouped together, and on the right side, 36 should be grouped together. Now let's find what is the closest square, which is the square that is closest to 19. It is 16, right? So 4 4s are 16, right? So we'll subtract it, we'll get 3. And this point, we'll just put the point here. So we don't need to bring the point down, right? And this will bring it together, okay? We'll always bring it together. Now, we have 4, right? Now, since we are finding the square root, right? 4 into 2, okay? We'll multiply it in this way. So 4 2s are n, okay? Now we have to add something here so that the same number should be here and we should get this number, okay? Now if we try 4 times, okay? If we try 4 times, 4 4s are 16, 1 and 32, 33. So 33 we get here. So square root of this is 4.4, okay? Now 4.4 plus root over 9 plus question mark whole square is equal to 9.4, okay? Root over 9 plus question mark whole square is equal to 9.4 minus 4.4 is equal to 5. Now, in order to remove this, square root will square on both sides, okay? So 9 plus question mark whole square is equal to 5 square, right? So 9 plus question mark whole square is equal to 25. Question mark whole square is equal to 25 minus 9, which is 16. So question mark should be 4, okay? So the correct option is B. Question number 43. David gets on an elevator at 11th floor of a building and rides up at a rate of 57 floors per minute. At the same time, Albert gets on an elevator at the 51st floor of the same building and rides down at a rate of 63 floors per minute. If they continue traveling at this rate, at what floor will they cross the park? Now, there is a building, okay? And there are 2 escalators. There are 2 elevators, sorry. There are 2 elevators. So the stories goes, okay? First floor, second floor, third floor. So David enters, it says here, David enters the building, enters the elevator at the 11th floor. So he will enter at the 11th floor, okay? David. Now, David's elevator is going up, right? So David's elevator is going up. And he is going at a speed of 57 floors per minute, okay? That is this upward speed of David's elevator. Now, at the same time, Albert also gets into the elevator, a different elevator at the rate of, he enters it at the 51st floor, okay? So one is entering at the 11th floor, other is entering at the 51st floor. And he comes down, okay? The elevator is coming down at the rate of 63 floor per minute, okay? So the question asks is, at this rate, okay, that is at 57 floors per minute and 63 floors per minute, what is the floor where they will cross each other, right? So one is going up and one is going down, right? Which means at one point or at a particular floor, they are going to cross each other, right? So we have to determine that floor. Now, we'll just assume one thing, okay, here. Assume that they meet after. So you have to remember that when David entered the elevator, at the same time, Albert also entered the elevator, which means they're entering the elevator at the same time, okay? Now, the only common, something that is common relating to this thing is time, right? At a particular time, they are going to meet. Since they enter at this, at the same time, which means the time taken for David to reach Albert and the time taken by Albert to reach David will be same, right? So we'll just assume that they are meeting after X minute, okay? So David entered into the elevator and after X minute, he met the Albert at X floor, right? At this floor. Okay. So we'll just assume that they are meeting after X minute, okay? Now, we all know that time is equal to, this speed is equal to distance by time, right? Now, which means distance is nothing but speed into time, right? Now, let's take the case of David, okay? Here on the left side, we'll take the case of David. On the right side, we'll take the case of Albert. Now, David is already on the 11th floor, right? Which means already 11th floor has passed. Already the distance of 11th floor has passed. Now, they are going to meet at X minute, right? Which means what is the speed at which David is traveling? He's traveling at 57 floors per minute, right? So which means 57, right? Distance is equal to speed into time, right? So speed is 57 into time is what? X, right? They're meeting after X minute. So similarly, Albert entered at 51st floor, right? So 51. And then he's coming at what speed? 63, right? 63. And they're meeting after X minute, right? Now here, when it comes to David, we are going to plus, okay? Because he is going up, right? So we are going to add up their floors. On the other hand, when it comes to Albert, we are going to subtract. Why? Because after he entered the elevator, he is coming down, right? Which means the number of floors is decreasing, right? So he entered on 51 floor. So after that, it will be 50, 49. So we are going to subtract it, okay? Now we'll solve this number solution, okay? 57 x plus 63x is equal to 51 minus 11, right? So 120x is equal to 40. So 4, 3 is 12. So x is equal to 1 by 3. So they are meeting after. So David enters the elevator, right? David enters the elevator. At the same time, Albert also enters the elevator. And after 1/3 of a minute, they are meeting, okay? They're crossing each other. Now we just have to find if they continue traveling at this rate, then at what floor will they cross the path, right? Now, they're going to meet at 1/3 of a minute, right? Which means again, let's come here. Speed, it is traveling at 57, right? The speed that David is traveling is 57 floors per minute, right? And he is traveling at the time of 3 minutes, right? So speed is uh 57 floors per minute, right? And time is 1/3 of a minute, right? Now distance is equal to speed into time, right? So it will be 57 into 1 by 3, which will give to 19 floors, right? So they are going to meet after 1/3 of a minute, which means they're going to meet after 19 floors. But you remember, David did not enter at 0 floor, right? He entered at 11th floor. So 11 plus 19, right? Is equal to how much? 30, right? So 30th floor, they're going to meet at 30th floor, okay? So after David entered in 11th floor, he has to go up 19 more floors, right? Only after traveling to 19 more floors, he's going to meet Albert, okay? Which means 11, the floor in which he entered, plus he has to travel another 19 floor. So total is 30, right? 30th floor. So the correct option is D, okay? Question number 44. The average age of 30 girls in a parlor is 15 years. If we include the age of 2 boys, the average age increases by 1. Find the sum of the ages of 2 boys. Now, so we don't know what so there are 30 girls, right? And we don't know what their age is. We just know that their average age is 15 years. Now, if you consider the sum of 30 years, sum of the age of 30, sum of the age of 30 girls is X, okay? We're going to consider, which means if we divide the sum by the number of girls, which is 30, so we'll get the average, right? So average is 15, okay? So sum of the ages of the girls divided by the number of girls, which is 30, we are going to get 15 as the average age, right? Now, we'll just find out X, which is 30 into 15, which is 450, okay? So if we add the ages of the 30 girls, we are going to get the total age as 450, okay? Now, here it says, if we include the age of 2 boys, the average age increases by 1. Now, this is the sum of the age of 30 girls, right? So the sum of the age of 30 girls plus let y be the age of the 2 boys, okay? Which means if we add the ages of the 2 boys, we are going to get it as y. Now we are going to edit y, right? So x is how many people? 30 people, right? Plus y is how many people? 2, right? And if we find in that average, if we add 2 more boys, right? The average age increases by 1. So what is the average age? The average age is 15, right? So it will increase by 1, right? So this is the age of the 30 girls plus the age of the 2 boys. Now already 30 girls plus 2 boys, right? So it will be x plus y is equal divided by 32 is equal to 16. Now we know that x is how much? 450. So if you solve it, you will get it as 62, okay? So the correct option is 62 years. Let's come to question number 45. So this 192.168.0.1 is an example of, so this is an IP address, okay? So IP stands for Internet Protocol. So every time a computer is connected to a network, okay, any type of network or an internet, that particular computer is assigned a specific number, okay? And this number is this, okay? So every time a computer is connected to a internet or a network, it is assigned a definite number, and that number is the Internet Protocol. Now let's come to question number 46. The bar graph given below shows the sales of books in thousand number from 6 branches of a publishing company during the 2 consecutive years, 2000 and 2001. Sales of books from 6 branches. Now, we have a company that sells books, okay? The publishing company that sells books. Now, it has 6 branches, okay? The company has 6 branches, and they have sold different number of books, okay? So the first, for every branch, the first year represents the books that have been sold in the year 2000, and the second bar represents the books that have been sold in 2001. Similarly, this is 2000 and this is 2001, okay? So it goes like this, okay, for every branch. And this number represents the number of books that have been sold, okay? So total sales of branch B6 for both the years is what percent of the total sale of branches B3 for both the years? Now B60, how much is there? B60, 70, right? Plus 80, right? And B3 there, how much is there? B3 there, 95 plus 110. So it will be 150. This will be 205. Now we are just asked to find the percentage, right? Is what percent, P6 is what percent of P3. So P6 is what percent of P3 into 100%, right? So it will be 150 divided by 205 into 100%. So this will give to 73.17%. Okay. Question number 47. A dog takes 3 leaps for every 5 leaps, right, of a hair. If 1 leap of a dog is equal to 3 leaps of a hair, the ratio of the speed of a dog to that of the hair is, okay. Now, here. Now say there's a dog, okay? Now, every time the dog jumps, okay? Every time this dog jumps, leaps, the hair, so a dog, See, one leap of a dog is equal to 3 leaps of a hare. So every time a dog leaps, right, or jumps, it will cover 3 leaps of a hare, okay? So every time a dog leaps, it will be 3 leaps of hare, right? So which means the ratio is 1:3, okay? Now the first statement says that every time, so the dog is taking 3 leaps, okay? This is the dog, it's taking 3 leaps. And the 3 leaps equals to 5 leaps of a hare, okay? Which means another ratio is 3:5, okay? Now we have to find the speed in this rate, okay? So every time the dog, no, not every time, but the dog has taken 3 leaps, okay? And in that 3 leaps, the hare has taken 5 leaps, right? But one dog leap is equal to 3 hare leaps, right? Now let's see the total distance, okay? Now how much distance that the dog has traveled, right? Now the dog takes 3 leaps, right? Total distance of dog is how much? 3 leaps. The dog has taken 3 leaps, right? But this leaps is in the form of total distance of a dog is equal to 3 leaps of dog, right? But 3 leaps of dog is how much? 3 leaps of dogs. Total distance that can travel by the dog. So how much distance the dog has traveled? 3 leaps, right? So it is 3 leaps of dog. Now, we all know that 1 leap of a dog is equal to 3 leaps of a hare, right? Which means this is equal to 3 into 3 leaps of hare, right? So it will be 9 leaps of hare, right? So that the 3 leaps taken by the dog is equal to 9 leaps of hare, right? And total distance of hare is equal to how much? How much the leap hare is taken? Hare is taken 5 leaps of hare, right? So the ratio is what? We just have to find the ratio of the speed of dog to that of the hare. So it is 9:5, okay? So the correct option is 9:5. Question number 48. What does the letter I stands for in the full form of GUI? So GUI stands for graphical user interface, okay? So the correct option is A. Let's come to question number 50. 6 points are marked on a straight line. And 5 points are marked on another line, which is parallel to the first line. How many straight lines, including the first 2, can be formed? Okay. Now here it says that there's one line, 1, 2, and this line has 6 points. So this is the one line, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? There is another line, which is also parallel to the first line. Okay, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we have 5 points. Now we have to determine how many straight lines can be drawn, right? So if you see here, you know that every point can connect to every point. Here there is 6, right? There is 5, which means every point on the 6-point line can be drawn 5, right? 5 more lines. So immediately here we have 5. Here also we can do 5 more lines, right? So it will be 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So it will be 30, right? 6 5 30 plus including the first 2. Okay, so which means we have to include these 2 lines also. So 30 plus 2 is equal to 32. So the correct option is 32. Which of the following word can be formed by the letters of Combinatorics? Now we have the one word Combinatorics, okay? Now, out of this, the alphabets contained in the word Combinatorics, we have to arrange and make out different words, okay? Now, if you look at the 4 words, you will see that In the first word, N is not there in Coimbatore, right? In the second word, in the third word, S is not there, right? In the fourth word, L is not there, but crab can be constructed, right? CRAB, crab can be constructed. So the correct option is B, okay? The complete syntax for time function in MS Word is, so this is a direct question. It's time, hour, minute, and second, okay? It exists in this form. 52, touch is used to manage emails, appointments, and contact. So this is MS Outlook, okay? So in Microsoft Word, in Microsoft Office, we have different types of applications, right? In MS Office, we have the Word, which is used to make Word document. We have the Excel, which is used to make spreadsheet. We have the Microsoft PowerPoint, right? Which is used to make the slides presentation. And we have what is known as the MS Outlook, right? So the MS Outlook, as well as we have the MS Access also. So MS Access Outlook is responsible for emails, appointments, and contact, okay? In a certain code, question number 53, flowers is written as in this form, okay? How is precious written in this form? Now, you just see how the words have been substituted, okay? Now, F is been substituted for E, right? F, L, O, W, E, R, S. So E, K, N, V, T, Q, R. So this is the flow. Each of these word has been replaced. Each of these alphabet in the word has been replaced to another alphabet. Now we have to determine how the word precious can exist, right? Now, P is not there in precious, in flower, right? P is not there in flower. R is there, right? R has been replaced with Q. Okay. E is also not there, or E is there and it's replaced with D. C is not there. I is not there. O is there. It's replaced with N, right? Q is not there and S is replaced with R. So our option should exist something like this, okay? The second must be Q. Then after that, it should be D, right? Then last third should be N and the last one should be R. So the correct option is A, okay? We don't know what is here, but with the help of just these four alphabets, we determine that it is option number A. Question number 54. Illegal distribution, copying, and use of licensed software is known as, this is piracy, right? So when we use, so every, software, application, movies, music, these are, has a copyright. And you can't just copy it and share it with other people. So when we do those things, it is known as piracy, okay? Question number 55. Choose the number from the following given alternative which is different from the other. So if you see here, you will see that there are four types of numbers are given here. And this number are just random, right? Now we have to see how one is different from the rest, okay? Now if you look at this number, this is a composite number, right? It is not a prime number. So prime numbers are numbers like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, right? Now 11 is not divisible by any other number, right? It is just divisible by 11 and 1. Similarly, 7 is divisible only by 7 and 1, right? Now a number like 264 is divisible by 2, right? It can be divisible by 2. 781 is divisible by 3, right? 781. So 781 is not divisible by 3. 781 is divisible by 386 is divisible by 2, right? Because if you divide it by 2, you will get it as something, right? Acha. 781 is actually divisible by 11 and 71, okay? So if you multiply 11 and 71, it is, you'll get it as 781, okay? So it is a composite number, okay? So the only option which is not divisible by any other number is 187, okay? Because it is a prime number. So the correct option is B, okay? Now let's come to question number is question number 56, okay? The touch attribute identifies an image by a URL. Now this is something that is related to internet, okay? We'll be solving the question number 55 once more, okay? Now, 55. Now here we have four options, okay? 264, 187, 781, and 386. Okay, now we have four different numbers, okay? Now we have to choose the one which is different, okay, in this number. Now if we 15, 16. Add this number, okay? 2 plus 6 plus 4, this is 12, okay? 1 plus 8 plus 7, it is 16. 7 plus 8 plus 1 is equal to 16, right? 3 plus 8 plus 6 is equal to 17. Now, if you see these three numbers are even, right? But this is odd, okay? So the correct option is D, okay? And not the earlier one, okay? Earlier, I got a bit confused. I thought some of these were not divisible, but the answer should be D, okay? Because the rest three, if we add the digits together, you will get an even number, okay? Now let's come to question number 56. The touch attribute identifies an image by URL. So this is something related to the internet, and it's a direct question. It is SRC attribute, okay? 57. The simple interest on a certain sum of money simple interest on a certain sum of money for 2.5 years at 12% per annum is 40 rupees less than the simple interest on the same sum for 3.5 years at 10% per annum. Find the sum. Now, we all know that simple interest is equal to P into R into T divided by 100, okay? Now, the first simple interest is what? Principal is, we don't know the principal, right? The rate of interest is 12%. Time is 2.5 years divided by 100. And simple interest 2 is how much? Same amount, right? Same sum of money for 10% per annum and 3.5 years divided by 100, okay? Now the simple difference, the first simple interest is 40 rupees less than the simple interest on the first one, which means simple interest 1 is equal to simple interest 2 minus 40, right? Because the simple The first one is 40 rupees lesser, right? Now, if we calculate these things, you will get it as this is 0.3x and this is 0.35x, okay? If we calculate it. So which means it will be 0.3x is equal to 0.35x minus 40. So it will be 0.05x is equal to 40. X will be 800. Okay, so the correct option is 800. Question number 58. Which of these is a web browser provided by Apple? So if you use any Apple product, the web browser provided is Safari. Question number 59. A truck is called a bus is called a tractor, right? Tractor is called a car is called a scooter is called a bicycle, okay? So they are just changing the name, okay? Now, what is it used for? What is the vehicle that is used for blowing the field? We all know that in order to blow a field, we have to use a tractor. Now, tractor is what is called car, right? So the correct option is D, okay? Question number 60. The average of 7 numbers is 80. The average of the first 3 number is 30 and the last 3 number is 40. What must be the remaining number? Now suppose those 7 numbers, we'll just consider it A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus G. The 7 numbers divided by 7, right? Average is how much? 80. Now, this is the first equation that we found, okay? It says that the average of first 3 number, which means A plus B plus C divided by 3 is equal to 30, right? Which means A plus B plus C is equal to 90. This is the second. And it says that last 3 number average is 40, which means E plus F plus G by 3 is equal to 40, which means E plus F plus G is equal to 120, okay? Now we will substitute, okay? This one and this one will substitute here, which means 90 plus D plus 120 is equal to 80, right? Divided by 7. So 90 plus 120 is 210. 210 plus D is equal to 560. So D is equal to 560 minus 210 is equal to 350. So the remaining number, which is the middle one, is 350, okay? The difference between a 2-digit number and the number obtained by interchanging the position of its digit is 36. What is the difference between the 2-digit of the number? Now, it says here that there is 2-digit number, okay? And the number is interchanged. And the number we get is 36. And we have to find the difference of digit between the two numbers. Now let's consider the number as 10A plus B, okay? Why? Because if it is 36, then it has to be 10 into 3 plus 6, right? Only when we multiply 10 into 3 plus 6, we'll get it as 36. So we'll just consider it as 10A plus B, okay? So this is the first number. And it says that the number are interchanged, right? Which means the interchange number will be 10B plus A, right? And the subtraction, if we do the subtraction, the difference is how much? 36, which means 10A plus B, right? Minus 10B plus A is equal to 36, which means 9a minus 9b is equal to 36. 9 times a minus b is equal to 36. A minus b is equal to 4, okay? So what is the difference between these two digits? It is 4. Let's come to question number 62. Choose the correct word from the following option. So eating, where do we eat? Restaurant, right? So exercise, where we must do? At the gym, right? In a Microsoft PowerPoint slide, such are the visual movements as one slide changes to the another. Now, in a Microsoft PowerPoint, we have different slides, right? Even in the same file. So in order to move from one slide to another, it is known as transitions, okay? Question number 64. DPI is an acronym for which of the following? So we have already discussed it earlier. So it means dots per inch, right? The exact location of a file on a disk is known as the. So in order to find a specific file on a disk, that is known as the path, okay? So the meaning is almost the same, okay? In the literal meaning itself, as well as in the jargon of computer language, it is the same. Which of the following is not a valid MS Office extension? Now, .doc is a Microsoft Word document. .pptx is a PowerPoint presentation. Then XLX, it is a XLSM though, it is a spreadsheet file, okay? So Microsoft Excel file. So it can be, sometimes it can be SLXS or SLSM, okay? So it's the same thing only. And this is not the appropriate one, okay? So the not the valid Office extension is D, okay? Now let's come to question number 67. If A is equal to 2, pen is equal to 38, and student, then student is equal to, now you see, A, we called it as, how many alphabets are there in A? Just one, right? So it will be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, right? Now pen. A is 1, right? A is the first alphabet. Now pen is how much? P-E-N. So if we calculate this, you'll see that P is 16, okay? E is 5, right? And N is 14th, right? If you count A, B, C, D, it is, N is the 14th one. So we'll just add 1, okay? Earlier we added 1, right? Similarly, we're just going to add 1 more. So if we add these together, you'll get it as 38, okay? Now similarly, we got it as 38. Now student. Now if we look at student, S is equal to 19, right? Then we'll add 1 more. T is how much? It's the 20th alphabet, and we'll add 1 more. Similarly, we'll do it for TUTE and, okay? So for each of these alphabet, we'll add 1 more, okay? U is the 21st alphabet, so we'll add 1 more. D is 4 plus 1. E is 5 plus 1. N is equal to 14, we'll add 1 more. T is the 20, we'll add 1 more. So if you add all these things together, you'll get it as 110, okay? Laser printer is a touch printer. So laser printer is a type of non-impact printer, okay? So printers are generally classified into 2 categories: impact and non-impact printers, okay? So in impact printer, as the name indicates, you know, the printer will strike a ribbon, okay? It will strike the ribbon, and only after the striking, the characters are printed on the paper, okay? So that action is there in impact printer, but in non-impact printer, there's no such thing as a ribbon, okay, which must be struck. So it is automatically printed on the paper, okay? So in impact printer, we have common things like the dot matrix, okay? We have dot matrix, we have daisy wheel, we have, yes, those things, okay? And in the non-impact printer, we have the inkjet printer, we have the laser printer. So these are the different types of impact and non-impact printer. Question number 69. ODBC. ODBC stands for Open Database Connectivity. Okay, so this is a type of application programming interface only that is commonly seen. 78 bits is equal to, as we all know, is 1 byte, right? convert 10111 into a decimal notation. Now this is simple. 10110. So it will be 1 into 2 plus 0 into 2 plus 1 into 2 plus 1 into 2 plus 1 into 2 plus 0 into 2. Okay. So we'll just add the power 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will be 32 plus multiplication of 0 is 0. 3 times is 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 0. So this will be 44, right? The option is 44. Images are basically a collection of spots, each of which is known as the, like I mentioned in the pixel, right? Images are basically a collection of spots, and each of these spots is known as the pixel. In computer, a hexadecimal number system consists of, so when we say hexadecimal, it means 16, okay? So the option is C. A software touch is a quick repair job for a piece of programming designed to resolve functionality issues, improve security, or add new features. So this is batch, okay? This is a direct thing only. So when we say, for example, what is a software batch? Suppose a company has launched a new software, okay? Say a software has been launched, say it is X. Now, the company realized that there is some error or some problem in that new software, okay? So what they will do is they will launch the batch to address this problem, right? So that software is known as the batch, right? A software batch is a quick repair job for a piece of programming designed to resolve functionality issues, improve security, and add new features. So this is known as a software batch, which means it works like imagine that there is a software is like a cloth, and then there is some holes, right? Security issue holes are there. So we have to just batch it up, right? So that is known as software batch. Which of the following option is the shortcut key for opening a file through a location dialog box in Microsoft Word? It is Control O, okay? Control C and all these are copy only. 76, which among the following is or are the popular Linux distros? So Linux distros are different types of operating software, right? So under Linux, we have different types like MS Linux, Manjaro Linux, Fedora Linux. So the correct option is all of the above, okay? Now, SQL is actually related to database, okay? So the full form of SQL is structured query language, and this is related to database. 78, touch is also known as the read or / write memory, okay? So this is RAM, right? So ROM is read-only memory, RAM is read and random access memory. So random access memory, though, we can actually read and write, okay? Question number 79. 3 out of 4 words given below belong to the same category. Choose the word that does not match with the rest. Now, when we say joule, okay, this is the unit for energy. Joule is the unit for energy or work. What is the energy for? Power, okay? So suppose you want to measure a power, it will be measured in watt, right? And kilometer is the unit for distance. But current is not a unit, okay? Current is a quantity. So current is measured in terms of amperes. The unit for current is ampere. So current is a physical quantity. So the correct option is current because it is not a unit. Question number 80. A wire in the form of a circle of radius 3.5 centimeter is bent in the form of a rectangle, whose length and breadth are in the ratio of 6:5. What is the area of the rectangle? Now, a wire is in the form of a radius, circle of radius, 3.5 centimeter. Now, let's find the circumference of it, okay? The total length of the wire. So it will be circumference, right? Total length. Total length is nothing but the circumference. It will be 2 pi r is equal to 2 into 22 by 7 into 3.5. So this is the circumference or the total length of the wire. Now, it is bent into a rectangle in the ratio of 6:5. So this length of wire is bent into a rectangle which is in the ratio of 6:5. Now 6:5, let's consider it as 6x, 5x, 6x, 5x, right? And if you solve this, you will get it as 5. So you'll get it as 22 centimeter, okay? So this is the distance or the length of wire. So this length of wire, which was initially in the form of a circle, is now converted into a rectangular shape. So which means if we add all these four together, 6x plus 6x plus 5x plus 5x must be equal to the total length, which is 22, right? So if you add this together, you will find 22x is equal to 22. So x is equal to 1, right? What is the area? So the length is 6 into 5 centimeter, which is 30 centimeters square, right? Now let's come to question number 82. What approximate value will come in the following equation? Now, we have here 15.01 whole square plus root over 81.009 into 32 is equal to. So now this consists of a very large multiplication, right? See, because there are point decimal. It's very difficult to multiply, but here is a one trick, okay? Now 15.01 is very close to 15 only, right? 15.01 is very close to 15. So if they consider it as 15 squared, it will be 225, right? Right? So we're just going to average it out, okay? So now again, this is very difficult to find the root, right? But we know that this number is very close to 81 itself. So 81, square root of 81 is 9, right? And then 32, which means it is 225 plus 9 to 18, 9 to 7, 28, right? So the answer should be 513, right? So the correct answer is 513, okay? See, in place of 15.01 is very close to 15 itself. So we'll just consider 15 only, okay? Because the 0.01 is not going to give much difference to the answer, right? Similarly, we'll do it for 81.009. Question number 83. In C, statements are terminated by. So when we come about the computer language, right? There are different types of languages that are used for making programs, software. One of them is C language, okay? So in this C language, while writing the programming language, in the C programming language, while writing different types of program, the statement has to be terminated by, this is a factual question, it has to be terminated by a semicolon, okay? So that's important. Question number 84. The angles of elevation of the tops of two vertical towers as seen from a middle point of a line joining the foot of the towers are 45 degrees. And now there are two vertical towers. Okay. And then there's a midpoint. From this midpoint, we view the two towers. And we see that one is 45 degree and the other is 60 degree. Now we have to find the ratio of the longest height, which is, say, x is the longest one, because it subtends greater angle, and the smaller one, we have to find this ratio, right? Now, we all know for this, say, since this is the midpoint of, since this is the midpoint of this line, so we'll just consider this as A, okay? Now, for this, tan 45 is equal to perpendicular by base, right? Similarly, for this triangle, right angle triangle, this is right angle and this is right angle. tan 60 degree is equal to perpendicular is x by base, right? Now we all know that tan 45 degree. We all know that tan 45 is 1, right? Is equal to y by a. Similarly, the tan 60 degree is root 3 is equal to x by a. Now, what is the question being asked? The ratio of the longest height to the shortest height, right? Which means we have to find the ratio of x by y. So y is equal to a from here. X is equal to root 3a. So x by y is equal to root 3a by a, which is root 3 is to 1. Okay, root 3 is to 1. Question number 85. Which of the key combination in Windows operating system is used for a shortcut for save? So in order to save a file, we always use the Control S, right? Question number 86. Applied to a bill for 50,000, find the difference between a discount of 25% to the two successive discount of 20% and 10%. Now, here the amount is 50,000, right? In the first case, discount is how much? 25,000. Now, which means 25% discount is how much? 25 by 100 into 50,000, which is equal to 12500, right? So this is the 25% discount. But in the second case, there has been two discount, okay? First, they apply the discount of 20%. And after that, whatever amount is left, again, they apply the discount of 10%. So we are not going to add up directly, okay? First, we have to do it separately, which means first, they apply 20% discount, which means 20 by 100 of 50,000. And this will get it as 10,000, right? So in the first discount, we get a discount of 10,000, okay? Now, what is remaining? After a discount of 10,000, what is remaining? Remaining is 40,000, right? Now here in this 40,000, we are going to apply another discount of 10%, which means the discount is 4,000, right? So if we add these two discounts together, how much discount do we get? 14,000, right? Now we just have to find the difference of these two discounts, right? So 14,000 minus 12,500 is equal to 15,000, right? Or 1,500. So the correct option is 1,500. 87. In a database, another name for row is, so we know the vertical ones are the column, right? So the horizontal one are the row. And the other name for row is known as the tuple, okay? Tuple is also known as record. So this takes place in a database, okay? So when we say database, it means MS Access, right? So the other name for row is tuple or record. Now in question number 88, it talks about 4 people, right? Saksham, Sunita, Sujata, and Suman. Now it says here, Sunita is fatter than Sujata. Similarly, Sujata is fatter than Saksham. And Suman is thinner than Saksham, which means Saksham is fatter than Suman. So we have to find the thinnest one, which is Suman, right? So the option is D. Question number 89. From the given option, what should come in place of the question mark? Now, we have a series of number 80, 64, 48, 32, question mark, and 0, right? Now, if we subtract 16 out of this, minus 16, you will get 64, right? Similarly, if we subtract something, 16, and you subtract minus 16, so if we go on doing like this, you will get 16 here, right? So the correct option is 16, okay? So there is a subsequent subtraction of 16 from between each number. Question number 90, which of these is a web browser provided by the Google? So you all know it is Chrome, right? Edge is provided by the Microsoft, right? But Safari is provided by the Apple, okay? So Chrome is provided by the Google. Pointing to a photographer of a boy, Sahil said, he is the only son of my mother. How is Sahil related to a boy? So here, if you do the logic here, you see Sahil is pointing out to the photograph, okay? And he says that this person who is there in the photograph, he is the son, right? He is the son of the only son of his mother, right? So Sahil's mother has only one son. So that means that only son is Sahil, right? So that person on the photograph is what? Is the son, right? So Sahil is the father of that person. Question number 92. The following table shows the number of boys and girls of different schools that have participated in a scholarship over 5 years. Now, here we have 4 periods, okay? 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004. And in each of these, we have 4 schools, A, B, C, and D. These are the 4 types of school. And these are the numbers that are given. It's the number of students who have participated in the scholarship test, which means in the year 2001, okay, which means in the year 2001, from school A, 300 boys participated and 80 girls participated in a scholarship test. Similarly, in the year 2001, from the school B, 280 boys participated and 60 girls participated, okay? Now, what you're asking is the percentage increase on participation of boys from school B. So what boys from school B in 2004, boys from school B in 2004. This one, right? 480 over toss in 2001. So in 2001 is 280. So what percentage? So 2004 there and 2001 is 280, 480, right? So if you do the subtraction, what is the different change? 480 minus 280 is equal to 200, right? Now percentage is equal to 200 divided by 280. Since we are going to see the percentage increase, so we are going to divide it by the earlier year, the year which occurred first, divide to 100%, which is coming close to 71%, okay? Now, here the mark price of an item is 2,000, but the shopkeeper offered a double discount of 20% and 15%. How much did he finally sell? Now, actually the product was marked as rupees 2,000. Now he offered a 20% discount, right? Which means, what is the discount? 400, right? So they offered a first discount of 400. So remaining is 1,600. Again, from this, they offered a discount of 15%, which is 15 by 100 into 1,600. So if you calculate this, you'll get it as 1360, okay? So the second discount is we get it as 240, right? Which means he sold for how much? The second price was marked for 1,600. So 1,600 minus 240 is equal to 1,360, right? So the product was marked as 2,000, and then the shopkeeper offered a 20% discount, right? After 20% discount, the product is worth only 1,600. Again, from there, he offered a 15% discount, which is 240. So if you subtract 240 from the 1,600, you get it as 1,360, okay? Similar question. Now here we have number 94. Arrange the given English words in alphabetical orders and choose the one that comes in the second place. Now, all these words, like it starts with A, right? So no problem with the first alphabet. Second is C. C. So again, here it's all same. From the third option, we see that here we have third alphabet is C. Here C. Here Q. Here D. The third alphabet is H. Okay. Now we have to find the second place, the word that comes in the second place. So we're gonna disqualify this, and this, right? Because C comes before Q, D, and H, right? Now from these two, the next is U, right? And here it is O, which means after O comes U, right? So the correct option is accumulate, okay? So this is the first place. Second place will come as accumulate, okay? And the third one will be achieve. And after that, it will be acquaint. And finally, it will be actuate. So the correct option is accumulate. Now here we talk about the arrangement of 5 people, okay? 6 people. They're seated on a round table and they're facing inside. So it says here that so it's consider this as the round table, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the 6 people. It says that F is between A and D, right? C is between E and B, right? And E is not between D and C. E is not between D and C. So E can't be here, okay? Because it says that E cannot be between D and C. So E has to be here. That's why I place it here. And the opposite B will come here. It also says that D is second to the left of C. So C is facing inside. To the left is this side. So the second left to the C is D, okay? Who is between A and C? Who is between A and C? The answer is A. So it's A, okay? Here we have given a statement. Read the given statement and select the assumption as follows. It says that if it is easy to become a doctor, I don't want to be a doctor. So the person here is saying that if becoming a doctor is very easy, he will never become a doctor, okay? He doesn't want to become a doctor. So from this statement, we have two assumptions. It says that an individual aspires to be professional and one desires to achieve a thing which is hard-earned. So the first statement says, yes, of course, becoming a doctor has to do with something with professional. The statement talks only about becoming a doctor, okay? It doesn't talk about the professionality in general. So the first assumption is not correct, okay? But the second assumption is correct because it says that one desires to achieve a thing which is hard earned. So it says that if becoming a doctor is very easy, if it doesn't involve hard work, then he doesn't want to become a doctor, right? So the second option is correct. Question number 97. That file have an .mpg extension. Now, as we all know, if we have an image file, we have things like .jpg, .jpeg, .gif, right? .png. These are the extension of .jpg, .jpeg, .gif, .png. These are the different types of image file, right? If we come in audio, it will be .mp3, .wav, .asc or .mp4 or something like that. But when we have a .mpg extension, it is a type of video file, okay? So it can be .mp4 also, or it can be .mpg as given in the question. So these are the different types of, and even .mov video file. Which of the following is a device that sends and receives data over telephone lines and to a computer? So this is a modem. Okay, so modem is the short form for modulator. So it says here modem, right? The correct option is modem. Okay, so when we are connected to the internet through a telephone line, we need a device, and that device is known as modem. Okay, suppose you want to connect to the internet, your computer to the internet through a telephone line. Okay, so we need a device known as modem. So, and this modem is the short form for modulator and demodulator. Okay, so they're just what they are going to do is they're just going to convert a digital signal into analog signal, right? Because in the wire we can carry only analog signal, right? So we're going to with the help of that modem, we're convert it from the digital signal of the computer into analog signal. Once it is converted into analog signal, it can transmit over the telephone line, and once it reaches the receiver, the analog signal is converted into digital signal with the help of this modem. Okay, so this is the role of a modem. Question number 99. Here we have two types of company. Okay, so the one with the rectangle, a triangle, is the company A. So wherever the graph is marked with a triangle, it is the company A, and the one with a square is the company B. And these two companies are plastic manufacturing companies. Okay, and the income that they have earned, or the profit, that income is profit only that they have earned, is shown in the graph. Okay, over a period from 1992 to all the way to 1998. Now it says here, if the expenditure of a company P, okay, company P 1997. So what is company P in 1997? So it is this. Okay, so company P in 1997 is, it lies between 50 and 60. So it is 55, right? So income is company P 1997, income is 55 lakhs, right? And it's given in the question that expenditure is 50 lakhs, right? And the profit percentage or profit earned by both the company is A and B 1997 is equal. Then what is the amount of profit earned by company A in 1997? Now, the company B, it has an income or profit of 55 lakhs and has an expenditure of 50 lakhs, which means the profit is how much? Income minus expenditure, right? Which is 5 lakhs. Right? So what is the profit percentage? It will be 5, right? Divided by 50, the expenditure into 100. So the profit is 10%. Okay. Now let's come to company A. Okay. Now company A also has a profit percentage of 10%, right? It's given in the question that it's same, right? And what is the profit that it has earned? It is 60 lakhs. Now, this profit percent is how much? 10%, right? So 10%. We have to find since the profit percent is same, we have to find the amount of profit earned by company A in 1995, right? Now, we all know from the question itself that the profit percent that we got is 10%, right? Now, expenditure is how much? 60, right? Profit minus the profit percent, right? 60 lakhs is the income, right? So out of the 60 lakhs, we are going to subtract the 10% profit that he has earned, right? So that will be the expenditure, right? So it's the same thing like we mentioned earlier. So in order to get the expenditure, we are going to subtract the 10% from the 60 lakhs, right? So that will be equal to 60 minus 6, it will be 54, right? Mhm. 6 and 5. Oh, anyway, let's just remove this section. We all know for the company A, the percentage is same only, right? The profit percentage is 10%. And income is 60 lakhs, right? It's given in the graph. Now, profit earned is nothing but the 10% of expenditure, which is 10 by 100 into 55, right? So this will be equal to 5.5 lakh. The correct option is 5.5 lakh, okay? Now let's come to question number 100. In Microsoft PowerPoint, themes could be found under, it is found under Design Lab. So if you go to the Microsoft PowerPoint and if you want to change the themes, so you will find it under the Design Lab, okay? So these are the 100 questions that have been asked in the CSRE 2022.